Week one of college football is here. We got through week 0, but week 1 is back. And our Illinois Fighting Illini travel to Indiana to play the Indiana Hoosiers for the first time since 2013. Illinois is coming in 1-0 versus Indiana, who has not played a game yet. So they are welcoming in their very first game. It is against the Illinois Fighting Illini. College football is here. It's week 1. At the time of this recording is Thursday night. College football is on. Tons of games. We didn't get a chance to talk about all the Thursday games. We'll try to get to an episode where we talk about the Saturday games, but this one is about Illinois going to Indiana. First time since 2013, I believe, since they have played. It used to be a good old rivalry game, Hoosiers versus Illinois. It is back, and we are excited. Please hit the like button, subscribe button on the YouTube channel, follow it and rate it wherever you get your podcasts, and definitely rate it and follow it on iTunes and Apple. Also, check out the Belly Up Media Network at bellyupsports.com. There's blogs, podcasts, anything there for everybody. And it's not all sports related, so there's something there for everyone. Please go check all that out, please, and thank you. Illinois is heading to Bloomington, Indiana to play at Memorial Stadium against the Hoosiers. They are coming in 1-0. Indiana has not played a game yet, but Illinois comes in pretty confident after beating Wyoming. They start Illinois. We talked about Illinois. They start slow versus Wyoming, but they finally got the run game going. Tommy DeVito showed some poise. He wasn't sacked. The young O-line held up. So now they come in pretty confident, but Indiana had a good team a couple years ago. Then last year they underperformed, only going 2-10. And we already talked about them. The over-under for them win total this year is 4, and Illinois is 4.5. So pretty evenly matched numbers there. So Illinois travels to Indiana. It's going to be a good game. When we look at what everybody else thinks, we're checking out, just the ESPN website. 52.7% are leaning towards Indiana. So it's almost, you could draw right down the middle. Excuse me. And the spread right now is Indiana minus 1.5. Money line is minus 125. The over-under is 46. I think you would want to take the over. Now, Coach Walters at Illinois will want you to take the under because he thinks the defense will hold them, and I think that's true. Dating back to last year, when you look at the last 5 games, Indiana lost its last 5 games. Dating back to last year, they lost to Purdue, Minnesota, Rutgers, Michigan, and Maryland. Illinois, the last 5 games is 3-2 dating back. Rutgers, they lost to. Minnesota, they beat. Iowa, they lost to. Northwestern, they beat. And Wyoming, they beat. No stats right now for this current year for Indiana because they have not played yet, but Tommy DeVito is 27-37, 194 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chase Brown has 151 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Bryant has 3 receptions, 44 touchdowns, and 1 interception for the Fighting Illini heading into Bloomington. So what do we think about this game? Well, one, it's on a Friday night, so Friday Night Football, which I believe someone said it's due to refs because high school we are dealing with ref shortages ourselves, so this is dealing with the refs. I don't like how this game is on a Friday night. For us coaches, we do not get to watch this. The last time Indiana has won an opener was during the pandemic season in 2020. They went 6-2 at that time. And then this year they have gone. Last year they went 2-10. A big matchup for this week. Whoever Indiana's quarterback is going to be versus Illinois secondary, which held Wyoming to 6 points, only 6 completed passes. Coach Tom Allen hasn't announced if it's going to be Jack Tuttle or Missouri quarterback transfer Connor Basilick. I know I said his name wrong. They have not determined who's going to play, and that usually tells us that they already have it. They just don't want anybody to know. Or you're going to see both quarterbacks get time playing. Last year, Illinois averaged only 215 passing yards per game, but they yielded only 30 yards of passing last week. That's the lowest passing yards they've given up since 2012. Players to watch, of course, is Chase Brown. He went over 1,000 yards last year. Again, we already said how many yards he's had this year. Indiana cornerback Tyron Mullen, He is a phenomenal quarterback. He's healthy, all caliber type. So that's going to be, he's probably going to follow Isaiah Williams all over around the field. Again, this is just the second time since 2013 that Illinois and Indiana have faced each other. This is the second time since 2013, which is crazy because they're so close. They're so close. They're not too far away. When I was growing up, being an Illinois fan, you hated Indiana Hoosiers. You hated anything with Hoosiers. You didn't like them. That was a rivalry thing, and it's. I wouldn't say in basketball it's kind of diminished, but it's slowly started to diminish. Illinois has started to have, at least in basketball, different ones like rivals in Michigan and these other teams. And Illinois football has become more of Northwestern than anything else. But I like how they're playing again. I think Illinois and Indiana have to play each other. That's just a great rivalry game, in my opinion. The Illini have held 5 of their last 6 opponents to 20 points or fewer. Indiana lost its final 8 games in 2021, but they've won 3 straight in this series. Tom Allen, he was hired at Indiana to be a defensive coordinator. He has taken back the defensive play call duties at Indiana. Illinois receiver Joe Morris attended Indiana in 2016 and 17 and is still playing. So that's kind of the rundown with Illinois and Indiana. Last year's statistics for Indiana, total points per game scoring, they only scored 17.3 points per game. So they're going to try to change how they score this year. They had some guys coming in the transfer portal. And again, it all depends on the quarterback. People are kind of leaning towards your Missouri transfer, but it's anybody's choice. Total points for the season, they scored 207, only had 24 total touchdowns. Rushing, they only had 1,003. Not only, they had 1,384 rushing yards. They got 3.2 yards rushing per attempt. They averaged 115.3 rushing yards, and they had 13 rushing touchdowns. Passing, they had 2,106 passing yards, 5 yards per completion, 175 net passing yards per game, 9 passing touchdowns. They had 15 interceptions and 29 sacks. Total yards for their offense, 3,490 yards per game, 290.8. Time of possession, they averaged having the ball 29 minutes and 51 seconds. They had 56 penalties. Average penalty yards per game is 41, so they want to clean that up. So that's kind of the stats on Indiana from last year. We don't have stats for them on this year. So Illinois scoring 38 points last week going against Indiana makes you feel good. But it all depends on how Tom Allen calls plays and being the head coach, and people do it. So looking at this game, the big matchup is going to be, in my opinion, what kind of defense are we going to see from Indiana with Coach Allen calling the defensive plays once again? And are they going to try to scheme up different fronts and different stunts, knowing that Illinois has a veteran offensive lineman, but the rest are young? You have a new quarterback in Tommy DeVito there, but he has experience from his playing time at Syracuse. And I think they're just going to try to lock up Isaiah Williams until another wide receiver steps up and proves himself. We have a couple, but I said that in my Illinois versus Wyoming post-game show that I did was one thing people are going to talk about with this Illinois offense until they start getting more of Coach Bielema's recruits is who's going to be the guy at wide receiver. And right now it's Isaiah Williams, and that's good, but he's also a converted wide receiver learning it, and he is more of a short. He can go deep, don't get me wrong, but when it's 3rd and 4 and you're trying to throw it, who are you going to throw it up to? Is it always going to be him? They're going to double, and they're going to send Indiana's best cornerback on him or the linebacker that way. So who's another wide receiver to step up? Are we going to have a tight end that steps up and helps out in short passing situations? So I think Indiana is going to sit there and say, okay, we're going to take the run game away, of course, because you have Chase Brown. Having Chase Brown, they understand Illinois got running backs. So Indiana, watching Illinois' game versus Wyoming, knowing who they have, I almost guarantee you they're going to say, okay, you got to prove to me, Tommy DeVito, that you can be this passer that everyone says you're going to be, and we are going to take the run game away from you as much as possible. We are going to make sure that Chase Brown doesn't get free, which is way easier said than done. And they're going to sit there and say, okay, what wide receiver is going to run and get open? What wide receiver is going to make the play? Now, they're not going to give up easy passing, but they're going to have more eyes in the box looking at the run game. Illinois is just going to do their thing. They're going to run the ball, but knowing that they're going to try to take Chase Brown away, they're going to get creative. They're going to do jet motions. You have to honor Isaiah Williams trying to run the corner. I think you're going to start slowly seeing Tommy DeVito start moving in the pocket. They're not going to do quarterback powers. They're not going to do any of that. I think you're going to start seeing more of zone reads. You're going to start seeing RPO stuff with him. And I think you're going to see rollouts and moving the pocket because he is mobile, playing that Syracuse system. He is mobile. He is an accurate passer. And I think that's what you're going to slowly start seeing. No offense to Wyoming. I think Illinois, I have no proof of this. No proof of this at all. I still think the playbook was open for Illinois, but I also think a part of me was they wanted to focus on bread and butter plays and focus on doing those over and over against Wyoming and then trying different parts of their offense in there. But I think as you start getting to Big Ten play and you start playing rivals like Indiana and you start getting there, you're going to start seeing that playbook open up a little more. You're going to let DeVito air it out. You're going to get him to move and the pocket moving and all of that, but I think you'll slowly get there because you're trying to build the confidence of a young O-line. You're trying to build the confidence of these wide receivers, and you're trying to build the confidence of Tommy DeVito, knowing he has experience. You are still trying to build that up, but pressure is not all on him with Chase Brown being there, an experienced guy at tackle, and Isaiah Williams having some experience as well. Illinois' defense is just going to be physical. They're going to give them different looks. You saw a lot of the 3-4 that Coach Bielema wants to do mixed in with the 4-2-5 stuff that Coach Walters likes to do. So you're going to see a lot of that. I think you're going to see more movement up front. And, Illinois is going to have to bend a little bit at the beginning because if, Coach Allen hasn't announced who's going to be playing quarterback, then they're going to have to wait and see what it kind of looks like. Are they going to be a running team or what kind of quarterback, what kind of passes? So they're going to have to feel it out at the beginning. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something's happening for Indiana at the beginning. But then Illinois will clamp down. Their physical corners and physical safeties can come down and make tackles. Having some confidence from last year and the tweaks they've made. Coach Walters is a hot commodity right now. People all over are talking about him and how great he's done with the defense and everything. So he is getting put on notice and he is being noticed, not put on notice. He's being noticed and doing good things. So Illinois' defense is going to do different fronts up front with their linemen and linebackers. You're going to see stunts. You're going to see blitzes all over Indiana because I think they're going to try to test out a quarterback that's going to be new for this team. Indiana is just going to try to stay healthy. They had quarterback injuries. They had different types of injuries last year, and they just couldn't put together, and they have a tough schedule. And they're pretty confident coming to try to, coming at home to try to be an Illinois team that they know, they're probably evenly at the same spot program-wise. Coach Allen's been there longer than Coach Bielema, but Coach Allen's trying to build up Indiana into a big-time program the same way Coach Bielema is. So this is going to be a pretty evenly matched. That's why that over-under is 1.5, and it makes you nervous. Illinois can cover that, obviously, because they've proven last week they can score. And I think they're going to have the offense and the weapons to do that and the quarterback to do that. Illinois' defense, if they could hold people last year and they're young and fast right now, they should be able to do that against Indiana. It's just we're going to have to feel them out at the beginning of the first quarter, if not the whole first quarter, kind of feel out their offense and what they do. So I do think Illinois will win. I said that from a long time ago, especially on the Big Ten episode I did. I think Illinois will come in and win. And, I'm saying that because as a fan, obviously, but the things that Illinois has to do is they still have to be able to run the football, but you're going to have to get some wide receivers stepped up. So whether you roll out DeVito out of the pocket and get guys to suck up, and that's how you get wide receivers open. There just has to be ways to get them open, and they have to be able to do that, and we have to have some of these receivers get confidence and somebody just become the guy and step up and be that person to go to when they need that big first down or that big touchdown. And their defense just has to keep doing what they're doing, keep building on that, and they'll be just fine. And, we'll see what kind of team Indiana is going to be. It'll be interesting of all the transfers they had, Coach Allen calling defense, what quarterback's going to start. So it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a fun game to watch on a Saturday for Week 1 college football, and we have a ton of other college football games to watch. Other than in the Big Ten, Penn State, Purdue will be a good one on a Thursday night. So the Illinois Indiana one will be fun. I do think that you could see the over under 46 is tough because if Illinois' defense clamps down, is Illinois going to score that many points? I'm not sure. So I do think you take the over for Illinois, or excuse me, you take the plus 1.5 for Illinois, and then the over under. I don't know. You guys stay away from maybe that one. But that's my thoughts on Illinois versus Indiana. I think Illinois could pull this off, but we'll see. But Coach Allen's a good coach. Respect him. He does good things. Gets good things out of his players. So it'll be a fun one. Again, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter at Coach_Steve72. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Check out all the affiliates in the description below. Thank you guys again for watching and or listening and everything. Send me a message if you ever want to be on the podcast. This is Coach Steve, and we will see you next time.